Before sunrise, truck begins unloading chairs. Generators roar to life. Tailors deliver last-minute fittings. Caterers negotiate ingredient prices that changed overnight. Makeup artists unpack ring lights. Bank alerts start moving. By noon, the entire supply chains are in motion, all triggered by one ceremony you were told was simply about love. You see a celebration of love, we see a marketplace of transactions. Lavish halls glowing with chandeliers, coordinated Ashoebi fashionistas filling the room like a moving fabric mosaic, cakes engineered like architecture, convoys of polished SUVs arriving in synchronized display, hundreds of smiling guests. It looks like joy. It feels like tradition. It performs like culture. But here's the uncomfortable truth. While you're watching the couples dance, someone is calculating profit margins. While champagne is poured, invoices are settled. While the crowd cheers, markets are clearing. Today on Whole One Aso, we're unpacking the business behind Nigerian weddings and asking a dangerous question. Are you the customer or the product? In Nigeria, Saturday is not just the weekend. It's an economic engine. Across the country, weddings circulate an estimated 1.2 trillion naira every year. More than 20,000 weddings happen annually, supporting over 500,000 jobs. The Ashoebi and fashion pipeline moves about 250 billion naira yearly. Catering services generate roughly 400 billion naira annually. Wedding loans from microfinance total approximately 80 billion naira each year. This is not a casual consumption. It's a structured microeconomy, powered largely by household capital. Which means wealth is not flowing in from outside, it's circulating between participants. To understand the hierarchy of spending, consider the spectrum. At the highest end, Nigerian weddings can resemble royal productions. One high-profile ceremony for the son of oil magnate Folorunsho Alakija was held at Blenheim Palace in the United Kingdom. The celebration reportedly exceeded £5 million. The venue alone cost around £150,000. Floral decor approached £200,000. The wedding cake was valued nearly £10,000. Each guest's meals were individually curated and priced. At this level, weddings operate as status architecture, signaling wealth, access, and prestige. Some celebrations go further. For instance, the wedding festivities of musician Mr. Easy and Temi Otedola unfolded across Monaco, Dubai, and Iceland, with estimates placing total expenditure between $10 million and $15 million. These events featured global elite attendance and multi-location execution. Here, marriage intersects with branding, networking, and influence. Ceremonies becomes ecosystem. Weddings at this tier are not only social events, they are visibility platforms. Political weddings reveal another dimension. Ceremonies involving the Buhari family demonstrated how weddings can expand into national social theaters, featuring multi-state celebration, luxury gift exchange, elite attendance, and aircraft convoys transporting guests. In one case, planning for Yusuf Buhari's wedding involved a committee of roughly 145 organizers. Events of these scales blur lines between private family milestone and institutional spectacle, showing how celebration can mobilize logistics resembling large-scale public operation. Status flexing also show up in fabrics. Consider the bridal gown. Designer Vicky James' wedding dress reportedly cost about $30,000. That's roughly 45 million naira. Pause here. That single garment can fund a real estate property, start a medium-scale business, or finance a postgraduate study abroad. At elite income levels, the dress stops being attire. It becomes competitive signaling. So, expectation recalibrates. Designs grow more elaborate. And as always, consumption at the top cascades downwards. When aspiration outruns capacity, celebration turns into leverage or debt. But status signaling doesn't end with venues, guest lists, and fabrics. It manifests in ritual behavior as well. Money spraying, once purely celebratory, has evolved into its own economic layer. Cash vendors supply currency bundles specifically for wedding events. Regulatory crackdowns and arrests have followed, highlighting tension between tradition, display, and financial governance. For middle-class households, the numbers shift, but the pressure remains. Urban wedding budget frequently falls between 15 million naira and 25 million naira, with luxury versions climbing far higher. This isn't about extravagance alone. It's about optics. It's about reputation. It's about expectation. And it's about comparison. You hear things like, "You only marry once. Don't disgrace the family. What will people say?" What begins as ceremony becomes performance. And performance does not operate in a vacuum. It reacts to policy and supply chains. In May 2023, the fuel subsidy was removed. Overnight, the cost of fuel tripled. Why does this matter for love and romance? Because Nigerian event centers don't run on national power grid. They run on generators. We tracked the data. A popular event center in Ikeja that charged 1.5 million naira in 2022 now charges 3.5 million naira for the exact same hall. They didn't renovate. They didn't add new ACs. They simply passed the diesel cost to you. This brings us to the biggest open secret in the industry, the Ashoebi Ponzi scheme. This is a real-life business model used by thousands of couples right now. Here is the mathematics. A bride sources lace material from a wholesaler in Balogu market for 15,000 naira. She then packages it and sells it to her friend for 45,000 naira. That is a 200% profit margin. If she sells this to 100 friends, she generates 3 million naira in pure profit. Suddenly, the Ashoebi is not about uniformity or culture anymore. It is a crowdfunding mechanism. The guests are unknowingly funding part of the wedding. In the hustle economy, this is brilliant. But let's call it what it is. It's not a tradition. It's an indirect tax on friendship. And finally, we have to talk about the Chivido effect. When Davido and Chioma got married in 2024, it wasn't just a wedding. It was a content festival. Multiple outfits, different locations, a guest list of billionaires. It was beautiful. But it created a dangerous economic ripple effect. In the month following that event, wedding planners reported a spike in regular clients demanding celebrity-style content creation. Suddenly, couples earning $300K a month wanted the Chivido effect. Here's the problem. Davido is a high net worth individual. His wedding is an asset that generates PR value. For the average civil servant in Lagos or Abuja, copying that template is a liability. You are importing a billionaire's consumption habits on a minimum wage budget. That gap between Instagram reality and bank account reality is where the debt begins. Yet, alternative exists. One Nigerian couple documented a legally valid wedding attended by just 10 guests, costing approximately 20,500 naira. Marriage and spectacle are not economically inseparable. They are strategic allocation decisions. The money doesn't vanish, it flows to designers, to caterers, to photographers, to decorators, to planners, to vendor building livelihood. These are entrepreneurs responding to demand. But structurally, the couples absorbs cost. The ecosystem captures revenue. This is household capital converting into service sector income, regardless of long-term returns to the spenders. This documentary is not about rejecting tradition. Celebration has meaning, community has value, but capital deployment shapes future stability. The same resources you spend on lavish wedding might fund housing, businesses, investment, or education. So the question is not how big the wedding should be, it's what outcome you are optimizing for. Before the next Saturday arrives, before deposits are made, before guest lists expand, before loans are signed, pause. Ask yourself, are you celebrating on your terms or financing someone else's prosperity? Because in every marketplace, including the wedding marketplace, you must know whether you are the customer or the product. This is O1 Hustle. Hit the subscribe button now. We decode the game.